Welcome back to From the Pages of Wrestling's main event, the October 1991 issue. This one drops you right into a moment where wrestling feels larger than life, but also like it's starting to shift under your feet. You can feel it in the tone right away. The magazine still presents everything with that big, bold, WWF driven confidence. But underneath it, there's a sense that new forces are coming in, new identities are forming, and the landscape isn't as locked in as it once was. You move into the opening feature centered around Hulk Hogan, and it's exactly what you'd expect for this time. He's still positioned as the center of everything: the face, the standard, the measuring stick. The writing leans into legacy, into dominance, into the idea that Hogan isn't just on top, he is the top. But what stands out here is what's just beneath the surface. There's an acknowledgement, subtle but there, that the competition around him is getting stronger, that the world isn't just revolving around one man anymore, even if the presentation still says it does. Then the focus shifts to the Ultimate Warrior, and this is where things get interesting because the energy is still there, the mystique is still there, but the certainty isn't. The writing leans into his intensity, his presence, that unpredictable aura that made him feel different from everyone else. But at the same time, there's a question hanging in the air about a direction, about what comes next. It doesn't say it outright, but you can feel it. Warrior still feels huge, but not quite as untouchable as before. And then the tone changes again sharply when the magazine touches on Sergeant Slaughter and the fallout from that Iraq storyline. This isn't presented lightly. There's emotion here. Real weight behind how it's framed. Patriotism, conflict, reaction from the fans. It all comes through in a way that reminds you how deeply these storylines connected at the time. This wasn't just entertainment. It was something people reacted to, argued about, felt strongly about, and the magazine reflects that without softening it. Randy Savage brings the energy right back, but in a completely different way. His feature feels intense, almost unpredictable, like you're never quite sure where it's going to land. The Macho Man isn't presented as stable or controlled. He's presented as volatile, driven, emotional, and that's the appeal. That's what makes him dangerous. The writing leans into that edge, that feeling that anything could happen at any moment when he's involved, and then you get the Undertaker, and this is where the entire issue quietly shifts. Because unlike everyone else, he's not presented as loud or colorful or explosive. He's presented as something else entirely: controlled, silent, unstoppable. There's a calm to the way he's written that makes it feel more serious, more grounded, and honestly, more threatening. The idea isn't that he might win, the idea is that he can't be stopped. And for a magazine still filled with bright personalities and bold characters, that contrast hits hard. You can feel that something new is taking shape here. As you move deeper into the issue, the title picture comes into focus, and it feels crowded in a way that earlier eras didn't always feel. Multiple contenders, shifting momentum, different personalities all circling that top spot. It's not as simple as one dominant figure anymore. There's movement, there's tension, and that gives the whole scene a little more unpredictability. The tag team division reflects that same energy, but in a different way. This is a division built on size, on power, on presence. Teams like the Legion of Doom stand out not just because of their dominance, but because of how they look, how they carry themselves. The Natural Disasters and other heavy teams reinforce that idea. This is an era where being physically overwhelming is a major part of the identity. And the magazine leans into that hard. These aren't just teams, they're forces. And then you get into the personality profile scattered throughout the issue. And this is where the magazine really captures the texture of the era. Every character feels distinct. Every gimmick is presented with confidence, with commitment. There's no hesitation, no irony. These personas are taken seriously, and because of that, they come across stronger. It pulls you into that world where everything matters exactly as it's presented. The letter section brings in the fans, and just like always, that's where you feel the connection the most. Opinions on Hogan, reactions to storylines, debates about who deserves the spotlight. It's passionate, it's direct, and it reminds you that this isn't just something people watched, it's something they cared about deeply. The news section keeps things moving, giving you that wider view of the wrestling world, even if the focus still leans heavily toward WWF. You get updates, shifts, small pieces of information that help fill in the bigger picture, and it's not overwhelming, but it's enough to remind you that things are always changing, even if slowly. And then you hit the ads, and this is where the experience really locks in, because this is where the era lives. Like mail order forms for back issues, promising you more of what you're already holding in your hands. Merchandise ads pushing shirts, posters, collectibles, turning your favorite wrestlers into something you can own, something you can wear, something you can hang on your wall. Subscription offers encouraging you to stay connected, to not miss what's coming next. And the VHS ads that push toward bringing wrestling into your home, letting you replay moments over and over again. It's constant. It's everywhere. And it works because it makes you feel like being a fan isn't just watching, it's participating. And as you move through all of it, flipping pages, taking in the features, the profiles, the ads, the voices, you start to understand what this issue really represents. It's a bridge between the bright, larger-than-life 80s and something a little darker, a little more layered, starting to emerge in the 90s. You still have the heroes, you still have the spectacle, but now you also have the unknown, the tension, the sense that things aren't as predictable as they used to be. And if you're enjoying going back through these moments, seeing how wrestling felt as it was happening, not rewritten years later, but captured right there on the page, take a second, hit like, subscribe, and stay with this series, because every issue adds another layer to the story. This one isn't about one moment, it's about everything starting to change. See you next time. Farewell from the Empire State.